All right, all right. Be coming through loud and clear here. Okay, just give me a second to go live on TikTok and grab the book. I will be right back. Okay, here I go again. I'm also going to be simultaneously streaming to YouTube as well, of course. All right. Hopefully, I do not get false reported, false flagged again today. That was kind of murky today with the whole limited visibility on my live. Like, are these just like social media drive-bys or what? Like, knock it off. Okay, anyway, with that negativity aside, we find ourselves in Principle 31 today. Embrace change. Change is the law of life. Those who look only to the past or present are certain to miss the future. That was John F. Kennedy, 35th President of the United States. Change is inevitable. Every moment, for instance, your body and cells are. The earth is changing. The economy, technology, how we do business, even how we communicate is changing. And though you can resist that change and potentially be swept away by it, you can also choose to cooperate with it, adapt to it, and benefit from it. Grow or die. In 1910, Florist Telegraph Delivery, known today as FTD, was founded by 15 American florists who began using the telegraph to exchange orders and deliver flowers to customers' loved ones thousands of miles. Gone were the days when a daughter or sister would go to the local florist and order a small bouquet. Okay. Family members were relocating to cities and towns far from home. FTD flourished by identifying this trend and combining it with the telegraph, which represented a change in the way we communicate. Around the same time, the American railroad industry began to see the automobile and the airplane as new technologies to transport people and goods from place to place. But unlike other industries who readily embraced these machines, the railroad industry resisted, believing instead that they were in the railroad business, not the business of transporting goods and people. They didn't realize that they were what they were up against. They didn't grow. Though businesses focusing on the railroads might have become automobile and aircraft businesses, they didn't. As a result, they almost died out. Where do you need to grow? When change happens, you can either cooperate with it and learn how to benefit from it, or you can resist it and eventually get run over by it. It's your choice. When you embrace change wholeheartedly as an inevitable part of life, looking for ways to use new challenges to make your life richer, easier, and more fulfilling, your life will work much better. You will experience change as an opportunity for growth and new experiences. Several years ago, I was hired to consult with the Naval Sea Systems Command in Washington, D.C. They just announced they were moving the entire command to San Diego, California, which meant that a lot of civil service jobs were going to be lost in that transition. My job was to conduct a seminar for all the non military personnel who would not be moving to California. For the Naval Sea Systems Command, it offered everyone jobs and transfers to San Diego, including reimbursement for all moving expenses, or assistance in locating a new job in the Washington, D.C. area. Many of the employees had become almost frozen with fear and resentment. Though nearly all of them looked at this change as the major disaster in their lives, I encouraged them to look at it as an opportunity, something new. Taught them about the E plus R equals O, and how although the move to San Diego E was inevitable, their outcome O, whether or not they flourished afterward, was entirely dependent on their response R to the situation. Perhaps you'll find a more empowering job in DC, I said, or even get a job with better pay. Or maybe you'd like to move to California where it's warm most of the year and new friends and adventures are awaiting you. Slowly, they began to move from panic and fear to realizing that things could indeed work out, maybe even for the better, Only they embrace this change as an opportunity to create something new and better for themselves. How to embrace change? Realize that there are two kinds of change: cyclical change and structural change, neither of which you can control. Cyclical change, such as the change we see in the stock market, happens several times a year. Prices go up and they go down. There are bull markets and corrections. Seasonal changes in the weather, increased spending during the holidays, more travel in the summer, and so on. These are changes that happen in cycles. Accept them as a normal part of life. But there are also structural changes, such as when the computer was invented and the internet was created, and both of these technologies completely changed how we live, work, get our news, and make purchases. Structural changes like these are the kinds of changes where there is no going back to doing things the way they were before. These are the kinds of changes that can sweep you away if you resist them. Like the Naval Sea Systems Command employees, FTD florists, or the railroad industry. Will you embrace these structural changes and work to improve your life? Or will you resist them? Remember, back to a time when you experienced a change, but resisted. Perhaps it was a move, a job transfer, change in suppliers, change in technology in your company, a change in management, even your teenagers going off to college. Change you were going to have to deal with. You thought it was the worst thing in the world. What happened once you surrendered to the change? Did your life actually improve? Can you look back now and say, wow, I'm glad that happened? Look at the good it eventually brought me. You can always remember that you've been through these changes in the past, largely worked out for the best. You can begin to approach each new change with the excitement and anticipation you should. Help embrace any change. Ask yourself the following questions: what's changing in my life that I'm currently resisting? Why am I resisting that change? What am I afraid of with respect to this change? What am I afraid might happen to me? What's the payoff for my keeping things the way they are? What's the cost I'm paying for keeping things the way they are? What benefits might there be in this change? What do I have to do to cooperate with this change? What's the next step I could take to cooperate with this change? When will I take this next step? Alrighty, guys. Another short and sweet one from Jack Canfield. I mean, I kid you not, we are basically already done with this chapter, Principle 31. Again, I'm surprised that someone false reported me yesterday over this subject matter. Like, are you kidding me? But anyway, that was Principle 31, Embrace Change. Certainly, it is the only constant. Our planet is always revolving. The world is always turning. And no one and nothing will stop that. Next time in Principle 32, transform your inner critic into an inner coach. So that will be in the next chapter, Principle 32. Please remember to support the show, like, comment, share, subscribe, donations, Venmo Stormer Show. Thank you for every follow on TikTok. Thank you for every subscription on YouTube. And thank you, of course, for any and all support that this show should receive. I'll be right back after this episode with more Horizon Zero Dawn. So if you'd like to, you may certainly follow me on YouTube. This has been the Success Principles. I hope you've enjoyed today's rendition of the show. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good rest of your day and a good night.